In today's episode of Spirit of Innovation, we celebrate Black History Month and explore the achievements of the African American community in Riverside County.
When you have a diverse group of individuals coming together, it creates the opportunity for the city to flourish. One people, one community, one world.
We share what you need to know about the new tax laws and some California laws that impact all of us. We also look ahead with Jackie Steed, who shares upcoming fun St. Paddy's Day celebrations with an Irish touch. This month, Spirit of Innovation welcomes guest host Esther Patla. She is the founder and president of Esther N. Patla CPA, a Temecula-based professional tax services firm, and is the author of 2 best-selling tax planning books. She is the recipient of many awards in her industry and community, including the 2021 Chairman's Choice by the Temecula Chamber of Commerce and the 40 Under 40 Young Movers and Shakers recognition by the Murrieta Chamber of Commerce. Stay with us as Spirit of Innovation team and Esther bring you impactful and innovative need to know, did you know, and good to know local community news and information.
Welcome to Spirit of Innovation. Thanks for joining us. My name is Esther Patla, and I'm so excited to be here guest hosting this month's episode of Spirit of Innovation. There's a lot that's already happened this month. Valentine's Day, of course, the Super Bowl, and most importantly, for CPAs like me, it's the start of tax season. Did you know you get a few more days to file because of the Washington, D.C. holiday that impacts this year's tax deadlines for everyone? Due to the District of Columbia's Emancipation Day, the deadline to submit 2022 tax returns is April 18th. For individuals and businesses residing in California affected by the winter storms, you get even longer to file. You have until May 15th and can claim a deduction for your disaster loss. Speaking of businesses, did you know that 2022 brought many tax credits your way? They include a research and development federal tax credit, which helps businesses recoup some of their money spent on development, design, or improvements. Another business tax credit worth mentioning is the Work Opportunity Federal Tax Credit. Businesses get tax savings for hiring those facing significant employment barriers, such as ex-felons, food stamp recipients, and long-term family assistance recipients. There is also state tax relief for businesses with the California Competes tax credit. It's available to businesses of any industry, size, or location that want to locate in California or stay and grow in California. Businesses have the opportunity to apply for this credit during the year. I know tax filing can be confusing, and if you need assistance, you might find it easier this year to get help directly from the IRS. The government's Inflation Reduction Act has funded the hiring of 5,000 new IRS telephone assistants and additional in-person staff. Many people choose to have a CPA do their tax return, especially if their taxes are complex or they need specialized advice. But before you meet with your CPA, it's important to get your records organized so that your return is easier to prepare. Individuals need to collect records that support income statements, deductions, and credits. These include receipts, canceled checks, mileage logs, as well as W-2s and 1099s. Did you know you need to keep these records until the period of limitation expires, which does vary depending on your particular situation? Go to the Spirit of Innovation website to find out which period of limitation applies to you. Stay engaged with Spirit of Innovation as they share new information and post need-to-know information on many topics all year long. In January, we ushered in some new state laws with the new year. There are a few you will want to make note of. Here is Spirit of Innovation Director Scott Strand.
Thank you, Esther. Job seekers in California will now see pay ranges in job descriptions. SB 1162 requires California companies to disclose salary ranges not only to job applicants, but current employees if they request it. On the topic of workplace pay, California's minimum wage has increased to $15.50 for everyone, no matter the size of the company. Say goodbye to the pink tax. Businesses will no longer be able to charge different prices for similar goods, such as deodorant, shaving cream, and razors based on gender. Mark your calendars for California's new holidays: Lunar New Year, Armenian Genocide Remembrance Day, and Juneteenth. Watch where you're driving, because jaywalking is no longer considered illegal. Pedestrians can now cross the street outside of an intersection without facing a citation, as long as it is safe to do so. In our COVID-19 world, disinformation can have dangerous consequences. Some doctors have spread myths or lies about the virus and how best to treat it. AB 2098 makes it easier for the California Medical Board to punish doctors who spread COVID-19 misinformation. A new law encourages school districts to work with Native American tribes to develop history lessons to give students a fuller understanding. The legislation also aims to raise the graduation rate and close the achievement gap for Native American students. With over 1,000 new laws now in effect, many changes are coming our way. But one thing that's always certain is Spirit of Innovation will keep you in the know. Back to you, Esther.
Thank you, Scott. If you want to see all the new California legislation that came into effect this year, just go to our website for the relevant links. February is Black History Month, which was created to focus attention on the contributions of African Americans. In that honor, Spirit of Innovation looks at how the African American community is making a big impact in Riverside County.
Historical records show that the region's earliest African American residents arrived in the 1850s and eventually settled as farmers and homesteaders. Over the years, the Black community grew into its own with firsts across many sectors of Riverside County, including military service, public safety, the courts, and government. The Riverside African American Historical Society works to preserve that history to inspire those who continue to make an impact today. Their displays, The African American History of the Inland Empire and Still I Rise at the newly opened Civil Rights Institute of Inland Southern California, do just that.
We wanted to make sure that we got that information and had it visible so that everybody would have an opportunity to learn from our history and also be able to learn the struggles and the oppression and so forth that we experienced during that time. We learn from each other by knowing and discovering each other's history. You can't really have a relationship with someone if you don't necessarily understand what their experiences are. And no one can tell your history better than you can.
While the Riverside African American Historical Society values the past, their first annual Legacy Builders Awards, taking place February 26th, honor those in the present who are making a difference through community service.
This award is given to people in the community, not just African American, but actually a diverse group of individuals that has significantly contributed to making Riverside a better place to live. And when you have a diverse group of individuals coming together, it creates the opportunity for the city to flourish. One of the things that I believe in personally is one people, one community, one world. And if we embody that concept, there is nothing that we cannot establish as a city or as a country.
The Riverside County Black Chamber of Commerce also works to empower the entire community in a holistic way.
We know that we are stronger together. So a holistic approach means that we have to serve each and every ethnic group that's in our community. If you have the greatest business in the world and you put it into an economically challenged community, then that business will fail. So what we decided is that we needed to look at our community and see if there was a way to increase the economic empowerment in that community.
The Chamber saw that in addition to their small business support services and financing opportunities, they could also offer community health programs to keep the economy thriving.
If you're sickly or you have a sick relative that you're taking care of, you don't have a chance to work a 40-hour job, so you don't have discretionary funds to be able to patronize a business that's in your community. We got involved with Cover California very early on to ensure that the folks that needed to have health care could get health care so they could be healthy and be able to have that 40-hour work week.
Other health support programs include anti-smoking advocacy, transportation services to vaccination centers, and vaccine education. This is all in addition to providing another community benefit, the success of small, minority-owned businesses.
But when you have a small entrepreneur that owns a barber shop or a beauty salon, and they're employing 3 or 4 people, that's a business in the community that is really valuable. We created that space for them to come in and be able to talk about how do we grow this business? How do we make this business stronger? And those are the serious questions that we sit down and deal with on a regular basis. And I think that's been very valuable for our community.
The African American community's rich history and contributions impact all of Riverside County, making it what it is today and what it will be in the future.
If you want to learn more about the people and events mentioned in this segment, just head over to the Spirit of Innovation website. This month's spotlight features Sigmund Valentine, founder of the Facebook group Black Riverside County and the owner of SoCal ADU Pros. SOI correspondent J.K. Weldon sat with Sigmund to discuss being a Black business owner in Riverside County.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yes, sir.
So the first question I have for you today, share with us, what is an ADU?
An ADU is an accessory dwelling unit. Every homeowner in California has the ability to add, at minimum, 500 square feet up to 1,200 square feet on your property as a detached or attached unit. You can even convert the inside of your home into an ADU. California is really focused on decreasing the shortage of home units in California. 5 years ago, you couldn't do this. 4 years ago, you couldn't do this. That's why there are so many illegal dwellings, because a homeowner, they have their children or they have their mother or their father, they can't afford to buy a house. They just build something in the backyard. But there have been a lot of laws that have been changed. So even if it is a legal unit in your backyard, we can help you convert that to make it a legal unit.
Why are you so passionate about it?
Man, I'm passionate about it because it actually changes people's lives. It allows a homeowner to turn their property into a cash cow. So just think, if you were a person that's been working on a job for 20 years, you're getting closer to retirement. The money that you're going to receive for retirement, that's awesome. But if you're able to drop 2 units on your property, that's more cushion for your retirement. That's paying the mortgage on the house. That's money for vacation. That's money for whatever you want.
Did you personally encounter any struggles operating a business, being a Black business owner that anybody else wouldn't encounter?
I don't see challenges like everybody else. I see challenges as something that I have to go through this in order to get to the blessings that God has for me. I think challenges prepare you for what's ahead. Everything that I experienced today is preparation for tomorrow.
Sigmund is the co-founder of Black Riverside County, the largest business network of its kind. Hundreds of business owners of all races and ethnicities utilize the Black Riverside County Facebook page to market to a massive network of people who may not have known about their businesses otherwise.
Black Riverside County is about 30,000 beautiful Black people, predominantly small Black business owners, and a raving fan base that's been built that is passionate about helping other people go to higher plateaus.
That's awesome. What made this a business of interest for you as far as like the networking?
My purpose is to bring value to those who otherwise would never receive it. And then everything that comes from that will result in power in order to go off and empower even more people.
All right, guys, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure sitting here with Sigma. And back to you, Esther.
Visit the Spirit of Innovation website for a list of Black-owned businesses in Riverside County that you can begin supporting today. If you've traveled north on the I-15 from Temecula's Winchester Road during rush hour, then I'm sure you've experienced the traffic bottleneck on your way up to the I-215 split. This congestion will be relieved soon with the construction of additional lanes and improvements. Spirit of Innovation attended the groundbreaking ceremony of what will be the largest project in Temecula's history. Here are the highlights.
It started out as something that we thought would cost between $60 and $70 million for the interchange, and has grown into a three-phase major freeway improvement spanning over 20 years, and there's still more to come after this. A physically separated parallel roadway called a collector distributor system, or CD system, will allow vehicles entering the freeway from Winchester Road and ultimately French Valley Parkway to have dedicated ramps to either I-15 or I-215 without ever having to merge into the flow of traffic of the existing freeway lanes. The project will be under construction for the next 2 years.
This project is a reminder that implementing transportation goals takes time and is certainly very costly, but we cannot stop working towards solutions that make transportation better simply because it's hard. The French Valley Parkway Phase 2 project is an excellent example of teamwork and perseverance to do just that.
There was a tremendous amount of synergy to make this happen. What united our region behind this project was its importance to our future, to the southern gateway of Riverside County. Removing the bottleneck that exists today is vital to the quality of life and economic growth of our communities for decades to come. Let's get this baby open as soon as possible.
One final thank you to Caltrans, RCTC, WRCOG, the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, Congressman Calvert, Supervisor Washington, our state, county, and local partners. We appreciate you, we thank you, and let's go throw some dirt, break some ground.
Spirit of Innovation will have a more in-depth look at this project in a future episode. Stay tuned. Riverside County is rich in cultural and racial diversity, making it all important to have programs, organizations, committees, and commissions in place to ensure fair treatment and inclusion for residents, businesses, and employees. Spirit of Innovation took a look at what the impact is.
Here in Riverside County, leaders are taking action to integrate diversity, equity, and inclusion into county operations to ensure all residents have what they need to live fulfilling lives. Riverside's Human Relations Commission is an example of how cities can play their part in creating safe and culturally vibrant communities.
The mission of the Riverside Human Relations Commission is to act as an advisory body to the mayor and the city council on issues of discrimination and to advocate really for equal opportunity, justice, and access to services and opportunities here in the city of Riverside. A lot of the times, cities do a less than admirable job of dealing with past injustices or even ongoing examples of racism or discrimination or inequities, right? We've seen, especially during the pandemic, how systemic inequities impacted different communities, both economically and with health outcomes. It's important for cities to take that first step in creating a commission that can act both as a forum and an opportunity for folks to actually voice some of the issues that are going on in the community.
Temecula's Race, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, or READY Commission, meets monthly to discuss the topic of diversity and identify ways to incorporate more inclusive practices in city events, services, and programs. The READY Commission's February meeting was dedicated to the celebration and a proclamation of Black History Month. Palm Springs has a Human Rights Commission with the purpose of protecting diversity in the community and improving human relations with education and awareness.
Some of the things that the Commission has done is really lead the effort on inclusivity in housing to ensure that housing was accessible and affordable for communities here in the city of Riverside. Most recently, and something that I'm very proud to be personally working on, we've actually implemented a community support grant, which will be allocating Commission funding to actually support the work of community-based organizations, nonprofits, neighborhood groups that have been leading the work of addressing discrimination and intolerance and inequities in the Riverside community.
One of the most effective ways to see change in your community is to get involved.
A lot of the issues that affect members of our community, whether it's being unsheltered or being targeted because of your race or ethnicity or your sexual orientation, or having decisions made for you based on your gender. A lot of these conversations are happening without the involvement of the community. Get involved in your local board or commission, show up to city council meetings, to write to your city council member. The greatest impact we can make is on a local level. And what starts off as maybe one or two voices can very quickly grow into a very strong community of voices advocating for protection or for addressing inequities or for righting wrongs that may have existed in the community.
There's no quick fix to ensuring a more inclusive society, but by valuing diversity and taking steps towards inclusion, leaders and residents are beginning to build solutions that will strengthen their communities.
It's great to see all the ways people come together in support of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's keep up the good work. Find out how you can get involved on the Spirit of Innovation website. Now it's time to share community events, heartwarming news, and more good-to-know topics and information. Here to get us started are SOI team members Aaron Porras and Tyler Perrone.
Thanks, Esther. The Santa Rosa Plateau Nature Education Foundation is offering grant money to support programs and projects for middle and high school students. Teachers, environmental education support groups, or nonprofit outdoor education providers working with youth in Southwest Riverside County are invited to submit their applications. In light of International Women's Month, Riverside County will honor a selected candidate for the Women's Inspiration Award, which celebrates social and economic achievements by women in our county. The awards will be presented at the Riverside County Board of Supervisors meeting on March 7th. The deadline for nominations is February 24th.
Young women dealing with mental health can take a break from the internal chaos of everyday life and find inspiration at the Peace and Power Lunch on March 11th in Temecula. A portion of the proceeds will go to the Black Emotional and Mental Health Collective. The Squid Games comes to Murrieta Mesa High School on March 11th. You heard that right. Squid Games Live is an event from local business owners to thank the community for supporting them. Admission is free and it's 100% safe. Support local artists. Visit Palm Desert at the National Monument Visitor Center on March 18th for their Desert Mountains Art Fair to see art in many different mediums, such as photography, paintings, ceramics, hand-painted silks, and more.
History buffs, get ready for the Jensen Alvarado Ranch annual Civil War reenactment in the city of Riverside on March 18th and 19th. Enjoy a day with over 100 actors in costume, a large collection of memorabilia, educational displays, and of course, plenty of food and craft vendors. Proceeds support field trips and tours of the historic Jensen Alvarado Ranch and Museum. If the Civil War doesn't pique your interest, perhaps Star Wars will. On March 18th, North Park in Riverside hosts the Inland Empire Strikes Back. Come dressed in your Jedi best for a fun day, a full day featuring over 60 vendors approved by the Rebellion, the Jedi, and the Empire. Ready to promote cultural awareness and engagement to discover the world? Save the date for the Menifee Multicultural Festival on Saturday, March 25th, held at Central Park.
St. Patrick's Day is coming up fast. As a holiday that celebrates all things Irish, we invited Jackie Steed to the Spirit of Innovation studio to chat with SOI team member Jordan Wood and share her experience being Irish in America.
Well, thank you for being here, Jackie.
Thank you, Jordan. I am very excited to be here and to share some of my Irish story. So I'm from Neenah, County Tipperary, so that's near Shannon Airport and Limerick City. So at 18 years old, I came over to California and I've been here ever since. I got my citizenship in 2018, and I figured after I'd been here probably 25 years at that point, and I figured it was time. It was a very moving experience to be in a room of so many immigrants that all pledged allegiance to the flag. It was very special, and it was very emotional for me.
How do you stay true to your Irish roots while living life as an American?
Well, the first thing I do is I go home every single year to see my mother, and I do talk to my family probably 3 or 4 times a week. And then also I stay engaged with my Irish community here in Temecula. We get together every couple of months, and so that really makes it a lot easier to be so far away from home.
Jackie currently sits on the board of the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce in the Habitat for Humanity Inland Valley. She also serves as a commissioner for Temecula's Race, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion Commission.
I'm from a small town, and I always grew up with that sense of community. So coming to America, it was very important for me to be able to find that. And I never really found it until I moved to Temecula. I became involved in several different organizations, and through that communication and community, I got to know a lot of people. I love going into the grocery store and meeting people that I know. It reminds me of home, and it helps me feel a little bit more like people you know about, care about, are always around you.
Learning about Jackie's Irish heritage is a great way to get into the St. Patrick's Day spirit.
Can you give us a little St. Patrick's Day history?
St. Patrick's Day actually began in the year 1631 as a religious day of feast in honor of Ireland's patron saint, who is known for bringing Christianity to the country. It wasn't until the 1700s in America that Irish immigrants began to shift the day from a religious observation to more of a secular celebration. Today it's mostly known as a party holiday, symbolized by shamrocks, leprechauns, and of course wearing green. A fun fact for you is that in Ireland there's actually no snakes, so us Irish people believe that St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland.
How is St. Patrick's Day celebrated in Ireland, and is it different compared to the US?
So it is a little bit different. It is actually a holy day. It's a saint's day, a religious holiday. So everybody gets off work and they go to mass generally, and then we also do large parades throughout the town. So I actually celebrate St. Patrick's Day by getting together with several of my Irish friends, and we have a couple of drinks, we have some Irish food, and we just share stories and memories from home.
Well, thank you so much for being here, Jackie.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's no problem at all.
Learning about different cultures and lifestyles is a great way to promote diversity in our community, and Spirit of Innovation is always happy to highlight these stories.
If you're itching to get out and experience the luck of the Irish, we put together a list of events in the area to get you into the St. Paddy's Day spirit. The fun begins March 12th at Bastard's Canteen in Temecula for their Irish-ish beer and hymns sing-along. Bring the whole family for an evening of singing your favorite Irish songs.
On March 17th, head to downtown Riverside to participate in the largest St. Patrick's Day pub crawl in the Inland Empire. Tickets include drink coupons and a map of all participating Riverside bars. Just want to stay in one place, but still enjoy the festivities? The Cove Bar and Grill in Murrieta will host a St. Patrick's Day party featuring U2 tribute band, the U2 Experience. Visit the Spirit of Innovation website for the full list of events. Back to you, Esther.
Thank you, Aaron and Tyler. We are counting down the days to DigiFest 2023. This year promises to be the biggest yet, with a star-studded speakers list.
Now announcing DigiFest Temecula 2023. Friday night, April 21st. Ryan Onan, actor, writer, co-executive producer. Eileen Grubba, actress and special needs advocate. Friday night, after parties, live entertainment. Sammy Listo. Saturday, April 22nd, with award-winning directors and cinematographers Nazreen Al-Khatib, Alex Bram, Pride Pierce, Chris Nolan. Voiceover panel with Candy Milo and Bob Bergen. Podcasts and influencer panel with hosts from across the country. Sunday, April 23rd. Adobe Premiere Workshop with David Creamer. Music Workshop with Byron Fry. Creating Your Podcast TV Show with Diane Forster. Sunday, April 23rd, Award Celebration with special guest Adrian Paul. Live entertainment with Lee Coulter and Sean O'Brien. Tickets go on sale March 1st. Buy your tickets at digifesttemecula.org.
Follow DigiFest Temecula on social media for updates and special announcements. JDS Creative Academy is honored to be hosting the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce Match Mixer for the 3rd year. Business and fun truly do come together in this unforgettable networking event. Take a look.
Come on down to JDS Studios for the Temecula Valley Chamber of Commerce Mixer, March 15th, hosted by JDS Creative Academy, where business and fun come together. Meet new people and promote your business. Wednesday, March 15th, 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. Meet amazing businesses and mingle among our sponsors. More info at jdscreativeacademy.org.
Wow, I can't wait. I know I'll be here. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Spirit of Innovation. You can find Spirit of Innovation on RivCo TV, local Murrieta and Temecula stations, and live streamed on YouTube. Be sure to follow us on social media using the hashtag JDSFamily to keep up with everything that's happening here in the studio and in Riverside County. Don't miss the SOI training crew on radio station 102.5 The Vine, 7 days a week with the JDS Creative Academy Community Spotlight. You can also catch the SOI update streaming live on YouTube with the SOI crew and co-hosting our podcast, SOI Talk, anywhere you stream podcasts. Our next Spirit of Innovation episode drops on March 30th with a new special guest host. Who will it be? Tune in to find out. Until then, SOI out.